Today's Tuesday, October 31st, and this is a chart review involving BDO Unibank. So real quick before I go any further, BDO Unibank is is one of several stocks that hit my watch list this afternoon. And during the process of reviewing each chart, this one had the most high probability for a short, meaning a bearish position. However, looking at BDO, that's listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BDOUY, which is an ADR or American Depository Receipt. Essentially, it's a foreign stock listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So when I was looking at the chart for that product, it ended the trading session at $22.68. However, a further look into it shows that there's hardly any volume involving this ADR. So essentially, I can't trade it because it's not really liquid. I don't want to partake in a position where I'm having a difficult time either selling it or buying it. So also, there's no options available to trade this. So I thought I'd just press on with this assessment. So I am reviewing this on this other separate platform under the actual ticker symbol BDO, which is again listed on the Philippine Stock Exchange. So here, BDO ended today's trading session at 127.5, which is approximately $2.25 US dollar, whereas the ADR on the New York Stock Exchange ended the session at $22.68. So even though there's a significant price discrepancy, the volume here is a lot cleaner and clearer, whereas it's pretty difficult for me to read the stock chart on the ADR, so that's why I'm deferring to this specific platform to do this assessment. So doing so, with all that said, so pressing on with this assessment, looking at this chart, going back 1 year, BDO had a very successful year. It started off end of October of 2022 below 100 pesos to the point that price ran up to 151. And along the way, as price was stair-stepping to the upside, right? So during this area, end of Q4 2022, early Q1 2023, price had a difficult time breaking above 115, and we can see that here clearly, to the point that there was so much conviction over a 3-day period where price just spiked to the upside, breaking above this strong resistance level. And at that point, price just then went sideways for another 2.5-3 months before taking another leg higher, and then ultimately hitting 151. But pretty much doing so, it essentially did nothing. It just went sideways. So now, after hitting that high of 151, end of July of 2023, signs of weakness is starting to show clearly, right? So here we have a high, we have a lower high, price comes down, falls below local support, but finds support here, where at one point price was acting as resistance. So here there was a support and a bounce breaking above the resistance of 137 before fading right back down to the downside. And here, this is where the past 5 days price has been. So it's literally below the local support level of 128.80. So going back to last year, right? So using this as an anchor point, what I did was I overlaid the Fibonacci fan, which is this indicator right here. So I'm looking at this in two different dimensions. One, the horizontal, as well as the diagonal. So each of these fans are, from my perspective, reasonable support and resistance. So going back to Q1 2024, Q1 2023, price found support here and continued higher. And then there was a retest in September, right? And price bounced off it. But then when price retested not only did it fail to hold at the diagonal, but price failed to hold support here at 128. It is now, or is currently acting as resistance. So multiple touch points to break above it are getting rejected. And I'm anticipating that as the year winds down and progresses into 2024, there's this high probability, again, from my perspective, on a theoretical, hypothetical sense, that price could eventually come down and retest 115. Again, here, early Q1 2023, price was acting as resistance, so price could potentially act as support. It may do so, it may consolidate before continuing. Again, from my perspective, I think it's going to have another leg to the downside. So everything that happened in 2023 could potentially reverse in 2024. So again, because I can't short this, I'm just going to do like a hypothetical trade. Using today's close price, I would mark that as a entry for a short position. So this is just a mock-up for a short entry heading into the end of the year. So again, I'm targeting 115 as a potential spot for price to come down to. It may hold that support here based on what past history shows. So that's why I'm identifying this as a potential area for price to come down to. Whether it holds here as support, I'm more biased on the downside. I'm anticipating that everything that happened in 2023 will reverse in 2024. So that's the general thesis for my bearish outlook of BDO heading into the end of this year and going into 2024. But only time will tell. So with that, I will end it here, and good luck to all.